D'souza, Managing Director of Whirlpool India, to join us. Mr. D'souza, good morning. Thanks much for joining. Well, first up, what's it that you are hearing from your retailers and stockists? More footfalls, and in which cities?
Okay, before I come specifically to this quarter and the heat wave, etc., that you're talking about, just like to emphasize that we had seen good growth in our business for roughly 4 quarters coming into December quarter. December quarter was a bit of a blip because of demonetization, but I think we've come out quite well, and we were targeting high double-digit growth coming into March quarter, and we're quite happy with the numbers we are seeing there. Going forward, and this is not only the heat wave, we've always maintained that all the positives which played into the economy just prior to demonetization, the good monsoon, pay commission, OROP, and then the small budget stimulus that the government had, all of that has yet to play off. We are a discretionary space. As discretionary spends go up in line with GDP, we're in the sweet spot. That said, that coupled with the heat wave conditions which are being forecast makes us feel good. We are right now seeing growth coming across all our categories, and that's not only for cooling. We are seeing growth not only in the cooling categories of refrigeration and air conditioning, but also in washers, in cooking, in built-in appliances and everything. So the GDP is bearing out, and the heat wave will only add to that. Penetration market, first-time buyers, a lot of them will be coming into the market. Good monsoon, therefore we are seeing broad-based growth coming in. We are seeing substantially higher growth coming in out of tier 2, tier 3 cities. So we feel good about going into the summer.
Okay, that's good to know that tier 2 and tier 3 cities are picking up. Sunil, hi, good morning. You had mentioned earlier that you're looking to double your revenues by FY20. Will that only be through newer products like inverter ACs, etc., or are you looking at some inorganic acquisitions as well?
Okay, so let me say that we're looking to get aggressive numbers on the top line and bottom line in the future. That comes from growth in our existing categories. The big categories for us today are refrigeration and washers. We are seeing industry growth as well as share opportunities in those spaces, as well as expanding into adjacencies, which includes air conditioning, water, and cooking, led by built-in appliances. So we're not only looking at strengthening the portfolio that we have in refrigeration and washers and expanding both at the premium and mass ranges. We're expanding aggressively into air cons. This year, our aircon range, we've not only strengthened the entry and the value premium segments, but we've also launched our 3D Cool range of inverters. I mean, industry-first humidity sensor. The feeling that you have in an air-conditioned room is a mix of both temperature and humidity, and we are the first in the industry to play on this and make sure we've got energy-efficient and comfortable air cons out there. So you will see both focus on growing our existing portfolio as well as aggressive stances on expanding the portfolio.
Okay. Is the industry also growing, Mr. D'souza, and what might it be, say, in the 4th quarter and in the quarter underway?
I would say we are seeing signs of industry growth coming back. That said, I think we've got far bigger opportunities to grow beyond industry. That is by gaining share.
That I agree.
And that is all segments that we play in.
No, that I agree. But I'm just wanting to know what is your sense of the industry growth in Q4 and the Q1 of this year?
I would say the industry did see, I would say, probably mid to high single-digit growth in Q4. And going forward into the June quarter, I think we will see acceleration as we see the impact of higher GDP and, as I mentioned, both on the urban side as well as rural side, both the pay commission, the good monsoon, and all the other infrastructure stimulus which the government is doing.
You spoke about expanding in the aircon segment. You're not present in the cooler space just yet. Would you look to increase your presence there, maybe by buying into companies like Qtrs?
Okay, so we are right now focused on 3 big categories for expansion. We call it air treatment, water purification, and cooking led by built-in. Air purification, air treatment is definitely one of our big categories. Right now, we've got enough space to play in air purifiers and air conditioners. We're focused on that. We will continue to look for opportunities for expansion with a very clear caveat that we are able to add value, create differentiation, add value to our stakeholders. As long as we can do that, we will continue to look at categories. As of now, we are not looking at air coolers and focused on pure air treatment.
You said, if I remember right, water as well. You will be open for the inorganic expansion in that space.
Oh, we're looking at both organic and inorganic expansion. We've got cash on our balance sheet. We're looking at making sure that we've got the best return to our stakeholders. That includes all options on the table. As and when we have good options, we will get back to our board and our shareholders and make the right proposals.
Is Qtrs good value?
I wouldn't comment on Qtrs being a good value or not. As of now, we are looking at all different options, and if we have options, we will put them on the table.
Certainly. Mr. D'Souza, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining us with your comments on the AC industry itself.